Headlining news: Francis Ngannou has found a new place to call home, and that's PFL. He's gonna be fighting in the superstar division, the super fight division. That's what it's called, super fight division, the Jake Paul division of the PFL. Where I guess I don't know if it's celebrities. I don't know if it's just big names. I don't know what the I need to look more into it, to be honest with you. PFL is just something so brand new to me. I don't really know how it works. I have like a sense, or like, I don't know, like a blurry definition of how it works. Like, I know it's like a tournament, and you fight these amount of times, and at the very end you win like a grand prize of like $1 million or something. I just don't know exactly how it works. Someone said it was like the world tournament, the world martial arts tournament in Dragon Ball Z, but I still don't get it. I'm kind of, am I a dumbass? I don't know. But I just need somebody to explain it a little bit more in depth till I freaking get it. Or either that, or I just need to watch PFL more. I don't watch PFL at all. But Francis Ngannou is now in the PFL, and John Jones has some shit to say on Twitter. I was in the car just chilling before work, and I went on Twitter and I saw everything that was going on between, I guess, John Jones and Francis Ngannou. Well, mostly John Jones. John Jones has been talking some shit on Twitter and saying that, oh, Francis was ducking him, that they tried to offer him so much money, and then all of a sudden he's calling himself the baddest man on the planet, even though I'm right here, but he's over there in the PFL talking across the street. Stuff like that. But I mean, I get it. I get why he says that, but I also see how other people can say something different. I was reading the comments, and some people were saying, yeah, but Francis Ngannou was there and he was waiting for John Jones, and John Jones was not wanting to take the fight, and they offered him $10 million for the fight, and John Jones was like, no, that's too low for such a big fight. And I'm like, yeah, it is way too low for such a big fight. It's John Jones, who's like, I feel like if you're even trying to find somebody who's better than John Jones, you're having a tough time. And even so, you're still debating, like, is it? I feel like we can all agree. We've all come to the conclusion. We've all come to the agreement that John Jones is the best fighter in the UFC, pound for pound. He is the pound for pound fighter, like in statistics wise, technically speaking, literally speaking, he is the number one pound for pound fighter. And I feel like his last performance against Cyril Gane, who everyone was saying is the top dog and has the best footwork and is the most I don't even know, a technical fighter that in the heavyweight division, trying to gas him up and saying, I'm like, dude, he's been training for like 2 years. I mean, he got really popular because he fought against Francis Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou was like on one leg, and he stuck to wrestling in order to beat him. And Francis Ngannou doesn't really wrestle. Let's be honest. If it was John Jones against Francis Ngannou in the wrestling department, John Jones is wrestling the shit out of fucking Francis Ngannou. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm really not trying to talk shit. I'm trying to be as straightforward and as true as possible. Maybe my own opinion. You guys have your own opinion. Leave it down in the comments. Who would win in the wrestling department? Because I think John Jones would completely dominate him there. Dana White said that they would never sign Francis Ngannou to the UFC ever again. That they tried to negotiate with him, that he didn't want to take any offer no matter how much they threw on the table, that apparently the UFC could not afford Francis Ngannou. That the UFC, a $10 billion company, could not afford Francis Ngannou. I don't know. Because I can see the side of Francis Ngannou saying like, "Oh, I'm the champion in the heavyweight division. I've beaten so many freaking guys. I should be getting paid this much. My knockouts are incredible. I'm a freaking superstar." Making his claim. But is he like asking for too much? That's what they were saying that he was doing. He was asking for too much, and then other companies started saying that he was asking for too much. They were like, yeah, nah, we can't work with Francis Ngannou either. This guy is asking for way too much money. Yeah, I guess we can't afford him. Our loss, I guess. And we were waiting for Francis Ngannou to find somewhere to finally fight because his value was going down. Let's be honest. No one was really even thinking about Francis Ngannou anymore. Um, he's again when he was in the UFC and the actual heavyweight champion. I mean, he was really good. But now that John Jones, the challenger, is finally back, that was an argument too. Let's go. Let's just talk about that really quick. Someone was like, "Yeah, John Jones was ducking him. He's been calling him out for 3 years." I'm like, "What are you talking about? John Jones has been gone for 3 years." Yeah, but even during that time, while John Jones was off, he was Francis Ngannou was still trying to make that fight with John Jones, and John Jones was not taking the fight because he was scared or some shit, some bullshit like that. Because John Jones is scared. Like, come on, let's. No one in the UFC, I think, at this point, if you're in the UFC, you're not scared. Like, none of these fighters are scared of anybody. They have to throw down. They have to throw down. Unless, like, it's Conor McGregor talking in your face and breaking your little ego and, like, that and just breaking your mindset. That's different because now your whole mental is just messed up. But scared, I don't think scared is the definition for either of these fighters. But saying that he was ducking him while he was off, I don't think so. Because remember, at that time, and someone even made the argument that he took 2 years to become a heavyweight. I'm like, well, yeah, because he can. He retired as the champion. He beat so many legendary fighters. His resume speaks for itself. He can do years off. And also, like, yeah, he had those, like, bad stories, the bad moments in his life that we all know and talk about, but that's in the past. Like, this is talking about now. We've seen this new John Jones. I don't know, it was like a different vibe, but I know he could switch it on like that. I also know that, but I feel like that's important. One of the things that I've heard before, it was like a Buddhist principle. A monk was talking, and he was saying that you have to be capable of having the light in your heart, but the darkness in your hand. And I feel like that's more of what John Jones has been mastering. How to keep the light in his heart, but the darkness in his hand, and not let the darkness consume him. Because I feel like he really knows how to use it. And once that consumes him, like, you've seen what he can go and do. But he seems to be in a better mindset. He seems to be completely in control. And he has a lot of heavyweights ready to fight him, but the only one that I really think that is going to be a challenge for him is Stipe Stipe, and Sergey Pavlovich. And Sergey Pavlovich, just because I know how explosive he is and how hard of a punch this guy has. So I know that any moment could lead to a knockout, but it comes to skill. I know that if John Jones plays it smart the way he usually does, like a freaking chess game of just keeping you at that distance and striking when he can, he's going to pick all of these heavyweights apart. And we're seeing more new technical heavyweights coming in. We just saw, what's his name? Jason Almeida. Let me see. What's his name? I just saw him last weekend. He just fought in the UFC Fight Night heavyweight division. He just got into the heavyweight division. He was actually a light heavyweight, and that's the first time I saw him in his last fight before the one he just had last week. He was in another fight night. He was against this Russian light heavyweight, and he just completely out jujitsu'd him and controlled him the entire time. Domination, let's be honest. And last week he fought against Rosenstruck, Geltin Almeida versus Rosenstruck, and he beat him same exact way. Rear naked choke. He knows how to. He has that technicality in the UFC heavyweight division. In the heavyweights, you have to have it. Like light heavyweights, you still see some of them move and throw some like more dynamic punches, more technical moves. But when the heavyweights, they more rely on power. And that was something that I saw a lot from Francis Ngannou. That he was very, very powerful. Now the guy can fight. Let's be honest. He's thrown some shots that just knock people out. And it is, again, because of that power. But all these guys are freaking big. John Jones knows how to handle bigger guys. I feel like it's not going to make any difference how powerful somebody is if you can't get a shot in. And if I were to guess that fight, I would just give my prediction now. John Jones beats Francis Ngannou. I don't know how somebody would change my mind, but yeah, the technicality, the experience, the accolades. I don't know. John Jones beats Francis Ngannou. That's just my opinion, and I feel like everyone could agree on that. Again, anything can happen. Of course, a knockout could just come in, and we just see John Jones flat on his back. It'd just be a terrible sight to see one of the UFC legends just go down like that. But I mean, against Francis Ngannou, it actually wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be bad. It's like either way, somebody has to go down. Um, I just think that when it comes to fighting and technicality, John Jones would definitely beat Francis Ngannou. And if he came to the UFC, if he came back to the UFC, or maybe the PFL and the UFC does like a crossover or something in the future or some shit, probably not. It's just speaking out of my ass at that point. But yeah, I think John Jones is okay to talk shit, to be honest, on Francis Ngannou while he's gone. Francis Ngannou was, I feel like he was being, I wouldn't say stingy because he doesn't come from a stingy background at all. That guy came from nothing. So I feel like that like humble side to him, even economic wise, he still has that side of him. But asking for too much money from different organizations, like everyone was trying to work out a deal and he just didn't, all of them denied the offer that he was asking for, except for the PFL. So let's see how it goes. I mean, good luck to Francis Ngannou. I mean, I'm not wishing anything bad in his career. I hope he has a good career in the PFL, but I mean, you can't blame John Jones for talking shit on Twitter. I think that's going to be the end for this video. John Jones has all the rights to talk shit.